something's going on with this and that. And that.
Yeah. So, hey guys, my name's James.
And I'm Ashley.
Last year we sold our house and we're traveling across the country with our kids.
Hi, my name's Goose, and this is Maverick. Come join us.
You wanna do it? Okay. Press that button right there.
Here?
Yep, hold it down. All right, watch out. No, the other way. Go that way. Go. Good, let go. Perfect, high five. All right, thank you.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine.
So unfortunately this hose broke on us. I think it was when it was frozen and I was trying to tap out the ice. I tapped a little too hard because as you can probably see here, it's bent, which means it's kind of useless because I can't thread it on anything. The only upside is I was actually planning on buying a new hose anyway because since we're up here in the Pacific Northwest, particularly up here near Mount Hood where it gets down below freezing quite often, we're finally going to invest in a heated hose, which we've never needed in the past 2 years of traveling because we've always followed the weather. But now that we're here in the cold, I think it's time to invest because nothing is more pain in the butt than having to get out in the freezing cold and unhook because you know it's going to drop below freezing tonight.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. A never-ending sunshine.
So I took this out of the fifth wheel with the intent of filling it up. We just never got around to it. Ended up not being there at the right hours. So I'm just gonna leave it in the back of the truck. That way I don't have to re-hook it up and then take it out before we hook up at the next place.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
He's unpacking. Seems far, but he's pretty close.
Good? Hi, buddy. Good boy. Good boy, bud. How we doing? You ready to go, kiddo? All right. Oh, you got books to read?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's go. Come here. I'll pick you up. Ready for a travel day?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There you go. All right. Whoa. Whoa. Ah, ah.
Yay!
All right, there you go. Get in your seats.
Okay, well, you get what you get. It's like I haven't worked a camera in ages.
We're back.
Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Oh, yeah. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free.
issues, guys. Hold on. Normally, we would be almost done by now. But something's going on with this and that. And that.
Yeah. So, all right, so here's what's going on. Super frustrated. We had a similar issue to this before when we had our ANL fuse melt on us. If you guys remember, I showed you the video where we replaced the 300 ANL fuse because it was just like completely black and melted on one side. So when we bought that, we just replaced it with a very similar ANL fuse because we didn't really know of any other options. But actually, after talking to some of you guys, as well as getting talking to the guy that actually installed our whole electrical system, he actually emailed us, so thank you, Alan, for emailing me and suggesting this. We bought this ginormous 300 amp T fuse. So it's a completely different style fuse, and as you can see, it's far more beefy. So we're guessing the problem, what's going on right now, is the current ANL fuse we have in there is shorting out and just causing problems, which then, if that fuse shorts, we lose our 12 volt connection, and all of the jacks and slides and lights and all that runs on 12 volts. So even though we're plugged in, we don't have our 12 volt power. So we need to hopefully be able to replace this, and then we can put our jacks down. I'm super frustrated because
Womp womp.
super frustrated because this, like, we haven't had any of these issues. We've had like maybe some little flickering issues when we would use like the water pump or something, but never completely shut off. And now it's like completely shutting off on us. It couldn't have happened like 5 minutes later after the jacks were set up and the slides were out, because I was gonna replace this fuse here anyway now that we're out of the snow and the rain, but now I gotta do it while we're still hooked up apparently. All right, so as I'm cutting this together, I'm realizing I'm not making very much sense or being very clear. So let me try and get what's in my brain out to you guys. So after we had that issue with that ANL fuse melting, we replaced it with the circuit breaker style fuse, which I was really excited about. But then when I got it, I realized how flimsy and kind of cheap it was. But I put it in anyway just to test it out, and it just kept popping. It kept breaking. So it wasn't up to par as far as what it said it could do. By the way, Maverick is singing in the background. That's RV life with kids. Anyways, from that circuit breaker style fuse, we put back in another ANL fuse, which is what we were at up until this point. But again, it felt just a little cheap and chintzy, so I kept doing research, and that's when I was talking to you guys. You want to say hi? And that's when I was talking to you guys as well as Alan, who did our install, and they recommended the T fuse, which is ridiculous. It's probably like 2 to 3 times the size of those ANL fuses, and it just feels stouter and sturdier. In Ashley's words, it just feels beefier. You want to say hi, or you want to go keep eating? We're having applesauce right now. Is it yummy? Yeah. So the problem we're facing right now is that the fuse completely disconnected the 12 volt power for a certain amount of time. Just a quick enough instance that it then kind of shorted or reset the leveling system on the trailer, so we cannot bring down the front jacks. Even though it currently has power, it's in a mode where it won't let you bring the jacks down. What I figured out is if I plugged the trailer back into the truck, we could actually feed off of the battery, the 12 volt system in the truck, and that allowed me to manually bring the jacks down. So I can now go in there and install the new T fuse. So now that I got the fifth wheel unhooked and leveled out, or we can set up inside, the kids don't have to be waiting for me outside or anything like that. I can get under there and actually hook up the T fuse. And like I was saying, it actually has a different connection type. So instead of using the copper wire lugs on the end of the wire, it's just you put the bare wire into the T fuse and then clamp it down with the bolts on the T fuse itself. So here's what it looks like installed and finalized. I didn't actually get any filming of me doing that process, but it's pretty straightforward, so I think you can tell just by looking at it. Good morning, chicklets. We are here in Shampooey State Park. You want to say good morning?
We're going swimming.
We got our little mermaid swimsuit on because today, or our little mermaid hoodie on, because today we're going to a water park.
I got my unicorn swimsuit.
We do. We got our unicorn swimsuit. She's showing you her belly. And we are ready for some water slides. So Shampooey State Park here is a state park just about a half an hour. Are you excited? Just about a half an hour south of Portland, Oregon. So it's really not too far from the big city. And we're only about 20 minutes from the water park that we're going to go to today. And none of us have ever been there.
2 water parks.
What?
2 water parks.
2 water parks. I love you. None of us have actually been here before, so we're pretty excited about it. It's a really cool facility, but we'll talk about that more when we get there.
Hello.
You ready to go?
Hello.
Is it all cleaned up in there?
Besides the backpacks and stuff.
All right, let's do it. Let's buckle up. That's where we're going. You get to slide out of an airplane. Isn't that crazy? So today we are headed to a place called Wings and Waves Water Park, which is a super cool indoor water park, which you kind of need to do here in Oregon. That is a huge airplane, Mav. Apparently it used to be like an aviation museum. Oh, okay, so it still has an aviation museum, but then they also took some of those planes. Hold on, Mav. They took some of those planes and then built this new building over here and turned it into a giant indoor water park where you can even slide out of some of the planes. I think they have like some rocket ship type things. I've only seen some pictures here and there, but it's supposed to be a pretty cool place. And then if you really wanted to, you could turn it into more of like a homeschool lesson and then head over here to this giant place. So if you wanted to, you could come over here and then do the museum where you could learn a whole bunch about aviation history and whatnot. But today,
check out the airplane up at the top. See what's
we're headed
coming
there.
out of it?
See the slides coming out the side of the airplane?
Yeah.
That not crazy?
No.
You
It
excited?
actually does not look too busy.
Heck yeah.
I'll take it. I don't like being in tube slides, but I might have to just to say that
You are going to.
just to say that I've gone out of an airplane emergency exit into water.
Okay guys, so it's been a few weeks since I've done the install with the new T-fuse, and it has been amazing. We haven't had any of the voltage fluctuating problems, no disconnect problems of any sort. So of those 3 style fuses, the ANL fuse, the cheap circuit breaker style fuse, which I was so excited about, and this T-fuse, definitely you get what you pay for. The T-fuse is twice the amount of money, if not 3 times, but it's twice as beefy, and it has caused no issues so far. So I know it's only been a few weeks compared to like a year that we had the ANL fuse to begin with, but so far so good, and I can just tell by the build quality that unless there's something catastrophic that happens, this will be the way to go. So if you're trying to decide what kind of fuse to put into your system, definitely recommend spending the extra 30-40 bucks and getting this nice 300 amp T-fuse over the ANL fuses, or those cheap boat fuses as they're called, circuit breaker style fuses. So that does it for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. You want to say bye? Bye guys.
Bye, bye.
Remember, as always, stay positive, get out there, life is an adventure.
So eat some applesauce.
And make some memories.